How many times have you set goals at the beginning of a new year with tons of excitement and anticipation and eagerness, only to find yourself repeating the same cycle as last year, and the year before that, and the year before that, and probably the year before that? How many times? Probably too many to count in one hand, right? And now you're probably nodding your head, thinking to yourself, what have I been doing wrong? What is it about me, about my choices, that needs to change? What can you possibly tell me that I haven't already heard? How am I supposed to actually follow through? And all of these are great questions to ask. And I'm going to give you a couple of pointers, just a few pointers and key elements that might possibly help you achieve your goals this time around. Let's get to it. Hi friends, so happy to have you back. Sandy Salgado here. I hope that you all find yourselves well and in good health as always. First things first, I do want to invite you, before I get the message started, I want to invite you to either grab a notepad or a notebook, something to write down these points in, because I assure you, you are going to want to revisit them. Two things that we're going to be discussing. Number one, things that could possibly be keeping us from achieving our goals. And number two, things that we could do to help us accomplish and achieve our goals. A few things that could possibly be keeping you from accomplishing your goals. Number one is fear. Definitely fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of your message not being accepted, your gifts and talents not being understood perhaps. Fear that you won't make it, fear that you'll go out and pursue and that you will fail. Another reason that could be keeping you from accomplishing or pursuing your goals, or even sabotaging your goals perhaps, is that you're not clear on what you're looking to pursue. And when I say clear, I mean super clear. You don't have a target, you don't have an end game as to what it is that you're looking to reach. Believe it or not, another reason that you might be faltering or stumbling, or that maybe you're even stagnant as far as your pursuits, is the fact that you do not have a good support system. You cannot accomplish goals on your own. I'll say that again. You cannot accomplish goals on your own. You need a support system that will speak life into you, that will hold you accountable, that sees the vision that you have, that sees what you see, and somebody that helps you work towards accomplishing those very goals. Another reason, which is probably one of the most common ones, is procrastination. Not planning ahead, leaving everything for the last minute. And remember, there's a saying that goes, if you fail to plan, then you must plan to fail. Procrastination is a dream killer. So make sure that you're not sitting on the couch just contemplating those dreams, all right? But the number one reason why we falter in our walk as far as our accomplishing our goals in our journey is the fact that you do not have a plan of action. Again, you may have dreams, you may have aspirations, you may have wants, but you do not have a plan of action with an expiration date, with a due date, as to how you're going to accomplish those goals and when are those goals going to be accomplished by. Not having a plan of action, a blueprint to execute those goals, will keep you pushing out the date further and further and further away. We want to make sure that we have a good support system, that we are encouraging ourselves along with those around us to hold us accountable and continue pursuing our dreams. We want to make sure that we're not listening to fear, that we're not procrastinating, and that we're very, very, very clear on what it is that we're looking to accomplish. So now that we have discussed a few of the things that could perhaps be sabotaging your potential and your goals and your dreams, I want to not so much focus on that, which is why I simply brushed on those points. I want to focus and redirect our energy to what we can do, how we can accomplish, what we are capable of doing. So point number one is set your goals and start small. I don't mean minimize your dreams by any means. No, that's not what I'm saying. But the reality is, if you don't start with something small, something that's reachable, something that's attainable, you are going to become discouraged, frustrated and overwhelmed, and you're going to want to throw in the towel before you even get started. That's just the reality. And the thing is, when we get started with setting goals and we're able to accomplish a simple task, a simple goal that we set for ourselves, that gives us some sort of confidence. It redirects our belief system from, no, I can't, I haven't been able to these past couple of years, to, yes, I can, I just did something that I said I was going to do. Kind of like mind games, if you will. So after you have set your goals, point number 2 is to create a plan of action to be able to execute those very goals. Now, we are all different and we all have different levels of discipline. Some perhaps need step-by-step instructions, step-by-step planners. Others could perhaps just need a simple reminder on their phone and they have their whole blueprint memorized, and that simply prompts them to execute their goals because they have it all under control in their mind. Does that make sense? For example, a step-by-step would be wake up at 4 a.m. The first thing I personally do is start with prayer, and then I read my Bible, and then I journal, I work out, and before the clock strikes 7:30, 8 o'clock, I have already accomplished so much. Perhaps you want to start with waking up early, being intentional about waking up early, setting your alarm to 5 a.m. maybe, or 4, or whatever time it is that is early enough for you. Maybe one of your goals this year is to begin reading, and you don't want to just say, I'm going to start reading a book. You want to be very intentional about what it is that how much you're going to read. So perhaps maybe say, instead of time-wise, you want to say, I'm going to read 20 pages. Or if you don't want to do the page approach, then you'll say, I'll start with 15, 20, 30 minutes, whichever works for you. This is simply a blueprint that you can alter and tweak that to the point where it will work for you. Creating a plan of action is absolutely essential to be able to reach your goals. Point number 3 is minimize your distractions. Nobody wants to hear this, but you have to minimize your distractions and your productivity killers. For some, it may be social media. For others, it may be Netflix. For others, it may be sleeping too much during the day and not being intentional about getting started. For others, it could be the nightlife, the partying, the getting drunk and wasted, and coming home at wee hours of the night and spending the next day completely tired and hungover and unable to move. And by this, I don't mean completely cut out everything, every single distraction, every single thing that you enjoy. No, but you do have to find balance between goals and downtime. Point number 4 is show up no matter what. Even if showing up is all you can do. Showing up to do what you said that you were going to do is the beginning of something. It's a step in the right direction. So do not minimize the power that showing up has. As I mentioned just a moment ago, if one of your goals was to begin to read this year and you set a goal to read, let's say 20 pages a day, and for whatever reason, because life happens, you couldn't get to it, and now it's almost midnight and you're frustrated because you didn't follow through with your goals, don't read the 20 pages. Read one page front and back, but show up. Or maybe you had set a health goal and your goal was to, let's say, walk 3 miles Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But for whatever reason, again, because life does happen, unexpected things just simply happen. Sometimes procrastination is one of them. No judgment. But if you couldn't get to those 3 miles that you set out to conquer, that one of your goals, run or walk a mile. And if you can't do a mile, then go around your block. And if you can't go around your block, then run circles or walk circles in your backyard, but show up. If another one of your goals was to pursue entrepreneurship or to start a small business, and the small business requires of interaction and making calls, and perhaps you set out to make 50 calls or 100 calls a day, and you couldn't do it because something got in the way, make a call. 1 call, 2 calls, but that will get you started in the right direction. Hear me when I say this, consistency will become your best friend. Number 5, last one, but certainly not least, is be patient with yourself, and definitely, most definitely, be flexible and open to change. When you're on a journey, on a path that you have never endeavored, that you have never walked, things could get messy. Things could not work out the way that we expected them to. So it's very, very important that you remain flexible and that you remain patient with yourself. The book of Proverbs in chapter 16, verse 9 tells us, it says, "The heart of a man plans his ways, but the Lord establishes his steps." What that means simply is we can plan, we can create the most amazing blueprint, we can create and establish the most amazing plan of action. But there are times where we have to understand that not everything that we set out to conquer is going to happen exactly as we want it to or exactly as we expect it to. And here's the thing about failure, and it's something that it took me a little while to really not understand, but to accept. The thing about failure is that it helps you become stronger in character, it helps grow your wisdom, and it helps grow your patience. You become more resilient. In other words, no matter how thought out our plan of action is, no matter how much time and energy we've invested into this plan and executing, things could potentially not work out the way that we expected them the first time around, and that is perfectly okay. The key is simply to be flexible and to be open to change, but never, under any circumstances, take your eyes off the prize, which is your goals and your dreams. That is all that I have for you, my lovelies. I do hope that this message helps, and my prayer for you is that this year you dare to step out in boldness and bravery and give your everything to those very dreams. I love you all. I hope to see you again soon. Until next time, God bless each and every one of you. Ciao.